Hello, good morning, and welcome to the day 2 of Awakening to Purpose series. The last time we talked about the topic, what is purpose? We tried to lay the foundation that will guide us in discovering ourselves. So we talked about what purpose is and also talked about a few things, why purpose is important. Today we are going to talk about the topic, why purpose matters. Why purpose matters. Mark Twain said that there are two important days in the life of a man: the day he was born and the day he discovers why. I think the statement makes sense. To me, I will add that the day you discovered why you were born is more important than the day you were born, right? You didn't decide the day you were born, you didn't decide to come here. The day you were born is more important to your parents than to yourself. But the day you uncover a sense of purpose to your life, the day you were able to put the matrix together and discover a purpose to your life, I think that day matters most to you. All right, today we are going to talk about certain things that revolves around why purpose matters. Why it's important that we are having this discussion, we are having this section. Life without purpose feels empty, right? Life without purpose feels empty. We have a lot of people in society that, based on the matrix, based on how we measure success, based on how we judge people who are successful, based on the things we count when we are talking about success, there are a lot of people in society that have that, right? They have the status, they have the money, they have the titles, they have the cars, they live in a good, beautiful apartment, but there is this sense of emptiness in them. There is this sense of something is missing, right? That often comes from a lack of that sense of purpose. When you don't have a sense of purpose to your life, the things you have will not fill that void. You still feel that emptiness in you, because those things are not going to be filled by the material things you have, by the titles you have, by the applause you get from people. So many people have these things, but they still feel disconnected, right? They feel dissatisfied with life. A lack of purpose creates a sense of internal drifts, right? You don't know, you keep chasing things and you don't seem to arrive to a place that is meaningful. So when you don't have a strong purpose for your life, you keep chasing after things. Fulfillment to you becomes a futuristic thing. It is now something that is contingent on what will happen, right? So for you, satisfaction with life or fulfillment is a futuristic thing. It's something that you hope that you will get when something happens. It's something that you get when you retire. It is not something that you experience on a daily basis. Life satisfaction is not something you experience every single day of your life. We're going to look at the things, the symptoms, the signs that indicates or that shows a life that is void of a sense of purpose. And that will also help to buttress this point, to make our topic more clearer, why purpose matters. Number one is chronic dissatisfaction, boredom, and numbness. Boredom is not a bad thing. It is good to be bored, right? It is not entirely bad to be dissatisfied at some points, at some moments in your life. But when this dissatisfaction, when this boredom becomes chronic, right? When it is repetitive, when it is happening now and then it is a pointer that your life lacks a sense of purpose. That your life is too small, that your life is about yourself. It's about meeting your own goals and your own need. It's about your personal success. The next one is constant comparison and competition, right? So you are comparison and competition. You're always comparing your life with other people. You are comparing your life with your mate, with your classmate, with your course mates. The reason why a lot of people compare and compete unhealthily is because they don't have a strong sense of purpose. They are not deeply rooted in purpose. Because when you have a strong sense of purpose, you realize that your journey is unique. Right? So that at any point you are in your life, you know that this is a chapter in my journey and my journey is unique. It is not supposed to look like that of another person. So you cease to compare yourself. So you don't compare yourself with people who, in quotes, are lagging behind. You don't compare yourself with people who are ahead. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't allow people to challenge you. It doesn't mean that you don't have models, role models. They are there. But you don't go counting their blessings and making yourself feel that you are lagging behind. The reason why we have a lot of unhealthy competition, people bring a lot of stress to themselves, a lot of problem, a lot of worry through comparison and competing with people, is because they lack a sense of purpose. Another symptom is feeling that you are in a rat race, right? You feel that you are in a rat race. You feel like I always say, like an Egyptian slave building the Great Pyramid. When you don't have a sense of purpose, you feel like you have this feeling that you are in a rat race. So what is a rat race? Rat race is that you are working to earn a living. You are doing something that you don't really care about. You are doing it to survive. Right? You are doing it to survive. You feel like you are a cog in a machine. Let me give you this illustration to buttress this point. If you are asked to dig a hole, and you are going to dig this hole for 8 hours a day, that's your job, and you are not told where this hole leads to, why you are digging this hole, right? You are just told, you just come, you are given your tools, your shovel to dig a hole, but you don't know the purpose of this hole you guys are digging. Your work is just to come and dig hole when it's 5 p.m. you are giving, you are paid, right, for the day, and you come back. When you are doing that kind of thing, now the job on its own is physically challenging, right? Is labor intensive. You are going to feel stressed, right? That is there. You're going to feel stressed. And imagine you do that every single day from Monday to Friday. You do it for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. You feel like you are just living to earn a living. You are just working to earn a living, right? This thing you are doing doesn't matter to you. Now, let's have another scenario. In this second scenario, you are doing the same thing, but now you are told the purpose of doing that. Now you are told that you are digging this hole so that you can, you can create access to drinking water for a community of people, maybe internally displaced people, right? So that you can create water for them. And you are part of the people that came up with this plan. You are also doing that, and you are also making money, but because you now see a purpose to it more than just making money, you now see that what you are doing serves a greater purpose other than generating money for you. Even though you are going to feel stressed, you are going to get tired at the end of the day, but you are going to go to bed at the end of the night with this internal satisfaction that you made a difference, that you did something that matters, that you contributed to a cause that is bigger than you. Right? Now, not every one of us get to do a job or a business that is in line with our unique values, that is an expression of our unique talents, of our unique desires, of our passion. But one of the things that a sense of purpose does is that it helps you to find meaning in your struggles. We'll still come to that. So that even though you are doing that routine job that you are just doing so that you get money to survive, it becomes meaningful. You now see a purpose to it. That you are making money to survive, to eat food, to pay rent. Because you need to eat food to get energy to make a difference. Another symptom of a life without purpose is constant burnout. Miles Moron said something. He said that burnout is not, it's not entirely as a result of doing hard work, right? It's not a result of working long hours. He said something that that I think makes sense. He said burnout is a result of doing something that you are not aligned with, right? Something that is not in alignment with your unique talent, with your temperament, with the longings of your soul. I will add to that, burnout comes from you are doing something that does not matter to you. It doesn't matter to you. It's just like the example, the illustration I gave about, digging a hole. If you are digging a hole and you are digging this hole because you want to build a tap, right? You want to create an access for drinking water for a community. Even though that job is challenging, but because of the alignments that this thing you are doing because of the alignment with your value, because you value community development, right? You value health. So you are trying to create access to drinking water. Now, because this thing is physically challenging, you are not going to get burnout. Because burnout is not just about the physical, it's not just about you did something that is physically challenging. It's also because of the misalignment psychologically. One of the symptoms of a life without purpose is constant search, constant pursuits of the next thing. Like I've said, if your life lacks a sense of purpose, if you are not rooted, strongly rooted on purpose, you're always chasing things, right? There is always constant for the next thing, searching for the next thing. But if you are rooted on purpose, you are content, you are at peace, so that any place you are in your life, at any point you are in your life, there is this peace that this is where I am supposed to be. Another reason why purpose matters is purpose is the anchor. Purpose is the anchor of the soul. Purpose is the anchor of the soul, right? When you know your why, you begin to say no to distraction. You realize that, a lot of things are simply distractions. A lot of things don't want your attention. You begin to say no to a lot of events. You don't just go to things. You don't just make connections, keep companies. You begin to filter your company, your friendship, when you live with a sense of purpose. You begin to manage your energy more effectively, because now your life has a sense of direction. Purpose brings clarity, direction, and inner peace. Now, another reason why purpose matters is purpose turns your struggles into fuel, right? Purpose turns your struggle into fuel. There will always be difficulty in life. Life will always bring unpleasant situation, unpleasant circumstances. People are going to disappoint you. There might be loss, financial loss, in terms of relationship. Like I will always tell myself, and always try to tell people who are close to me, instead of trying to pray away or wish away difficult life circumstances, the best position to take, which is the most proactive position to take, is to fortify your heart, to be able to handle any situation life is going to bring. So there will always be difficult things in life. So the important thing is whether your pain, the struggles you are going through, your struggles, your pain, the difficult situations you are passing through, whether they feel meaningful, whether they feel pointless or they are meaningful, right? So we have two things: pointless, or purposeful. So there will always be pain, right? When you are purpose driven, when you have a strong sense of purpose, your pain becomes purposeful. The difficult situation you are going through becomes an opportunity for you to grow. It becomes an opportunity for growth, right? For learning. So your life situations, the difficult situations you are going through, is not going to be an excuse for you to quit. Because when you don't live with a strong sense of purpose, those situations can become an excuse for you to quit, right? If you work with a difficult boss, if you have a strong sense of purpose and you know that this job is serving as a source of income, right? So that you pay your bills, you live in an apartment, you eat food to energize you, to give you, so that you can be able to do your purpose until doing that purpose is able to generate you enough income so that you can do without that job. The difficulties you are experiencing becomes an opportunity for you to learn, for you to grow. You don't see it an excuse to quit. So there will always be pain. A strong sense of purpose helps you to see meaning in your struggle. When you have a strong sense of purpose, challenges and difficult situations becomes an opportunity for growth. You know, being purpose driven will not eliminate pain in your life. It will not eliminate pain. The only thing that it will do is that it will help you to make sense out of your pain. It makes your pain to be meaningful. Another reason why purpose matters is that living with purpose fulfills a deeper need. During the first day one of this series, I mentioned something that we are not just biological beings, right? We are also spiritual beings. We have this longing for meaning. So a sense of purpose fulfills that need of our soul to feel that our life matters, that we are not just like the worker ants, right? Building a house by the order of the queen. We want to feel that the thing we are building is meaningful, that it matters, that it makes a difference. We want to have this feeling that we are contributing to a cause that is greater than our life. So when you are connected to purpose, when you live with a sense of purpose, you transcend from surviving to significance. So your life is not just about wanting to make it, right? We live in a generation where everybody wants to make it. So a strong sense of purpose helps you to transcend from that, because that is about personal success. So you transcend from personal success towards significance. Now, I'm not saying that having a sense of purpose means that you do away with, the luxuries of life. I'm not saying it means that you don't want to have a car, you don't want to live in a beautiful apartment, you don't have to have enough money in your account. But what I'm saying is that when you are getting these things, a sense of purpose helps you to realize that money is a tool, that the purpose of money is not to make you happy, it's not to make you fulfill, it's not to bring fulfillment. That the purpose of money is, number one, to help you to survive, that is, to eat good food, right? Exercise, pay for your medical bills, live in a good apartment. And secondly, to make contribution. So the purpose of money is not just for our personal success. It's not just for building a house, right? A sense of purpose helps you to realize that money becomes a tool to make a difference in society. I mean, imagine a world where we have a lot of people who think beyond personal success, who thinks about making a difference in society. Because when you lack a sense of purpose, one of the things that happens is that you become greedy. So you are accumulating things, you are accumulating wealth for the sake of accumulating them. They don't serve a greater purpose other than your survival. So you have a lot of people who have 10 cars in their garage. You have people who are having, so many houses. And when we live in a society where you have a lot of people who cannot afford to live in a good apartment. No wonder people keep chasing things. Because when you don't have that satisfaction with life, you keep chasing things to bring them. And it becomes an endless cycle. It becomes a hedonic treadmill where you are chasing money. You keep chasing money, you keep chasing things because you don't seem to arrive. So I'm going to leave you with with just two questions. Number one, what have living without a sense of purpose cost you? Right? I want you to write it down. Maybe write like 5 things. What are the things that, what have it cost you? What are the costs of living without a sense of purpose? Secondly, how will your life look like if you begin to live with a sense of purpose, if you begin to live purpose-driven life? If you were driven by purpose, what will your life look like? So I want you to put this thing down and meditate on them, reflect on them, right? Put down anything that comes to your mind. Remember, this is a series, right? We are on a journey of self-discovery, of purpose discovery. So I want you to put this thing down, okay? Put them down. If you have questions, if you have concern, if there are things that I have said and they are not clear, which I believe, I want you to ask me questions. Put it in the comment section and I will attend to them. So I want to believe today's section has been wonderful and that you've learned a lot, that you have been empowered. Okay, I want you to be anticipating, be expectant of the next video, part 3 of this series. It promises to be loaded and empowering. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. I hope you work. Okay, yeah, 29.